Buka buku. Dia ada buku kan? Ada kan? Memang. We will inshallah start shortly. So I hope everybody is ready. Today's topic is believing the belief in Allah's names and attributes. Inshallah, we will start shortly. So, can we start? Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi wa ba'du. Welcome to the second session of the New Muslim Community class. As we all know, we are still in this book, the New Muslim Guide. This is our reference book, the New Muslim Guide. You can get this in Al-Khadim. We have still providing. We are still in purchase. It's still on the way, right? So you can get this book in Da'wah Corner Bookstore in PJ, inshallah. So today we are discussing about the belief in Allah's names and attributes. As we went with Sheikh Sharif Al-Arabi, I am sitting in for him today because he's not around. We are talking about the belief in Allah, the first pillar, the first article of faith, which is to believe in Allah Azza wa Jalla. Glory be to Allah. This is the first belief that we have to do, that we have to believe in, which is to believe in Allah. So we have gone through some of the chapters in this book about Tawheed, about the oneness of Allah. So the first thing that we discussed is the oneness of Allah in His Lordship. Remember? In His Lordship. We called it Tawheed ar-Rububiyyah, the Lordship of Allah, what Allah does and who is Allah, what He does, and basically to know the basic af'alullah, the basic of the what does Allah do, what is Allah, who is Allah, and what does He do to this life, to us, etc., etc. That is the first bab, which is the ar-Rububiyyah. He is the Rabb. We know that He is the Rabb. He is the sustainer, the nourisher, the one who provides for all of His creations. Besides Him, everything is creation, creature. We are creatures of Allah. We are creations, and Allah is the Al-Khaliq, the creator. So that is the first bab of the Tawheed. The second bab is to believe in Allah's Lordship. To believe in His in worship. To believe in Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah, which means that we single out our worship towards Allah. Al-Uluhiyyah. Still remember? We have quizzes here, right? No? No quizzes? Brother? Do we have quizzes after the end of the classes? Usually? No, right? Okay, it's okay. But maybe we should implement that so that we are aware. Okay, we really know what we've learned, so we benefit, so we can teach to others as well, inshallah. So it is a very basic principle. The second one is to worship Allah alone without associating any partners with Him. And also we went through about associating partners with Allah, a shirk. That we have two types of shirk. One is the major ones and one is the minor ones. So the major ones that you worship other than Allah, or you worship Allah and then you worship others beside Allah as well. That is what we call a shirk, the major shirk. And the minor shirk is you do more towards the intention part. That you do this minor shirk, what we call riya. Remember, Ustaz Adli taught us. No, remember? Okay, no problem. You can review if you forgot about the class. You can review at the videos, the recorded videos, inshallah. Okay, so this is the third element of the Tawheed, which is to believe in Allah's names and attributes. A Muslim cannot worship Allah in its perfection without knowing Allah, who is Allah, right? Without knowing Allah, you cannot worship Allah in a perfect manner, in a complete manner. For example, if you don't know your friend very well, you won't have that sense of attachment and love towards him. Of course, you have to know him, you have to know his background, etc. You have to know his characteristics, etc., etc. So, walillahil mathalul a'la, for Allah is the greatest example. Allah, if you want to know, you want to love Allah, you have to know who is Allah. And there's a saying in Malay. Who knows that saying? Tak kenal, maka tak cinta. If you don't know somebody, you won't able to love him. So you have to know first. You have to know who is this, who is Allah, what is His names and attributes, His perfect names and attributes, so that we can worship Allah better. Okay, so I have just a few minutes, 15 minutes, right, Brother Hilmi? Only 15 minutes. Just a brief one, because if you see in this book, this is a short one. They don't discuss in depth, but let us read through, inshallah. Belief in Allah's names and attributes. This involves belief in the names and attributes which Allah has affirmed for Himself, or which His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam has affirmed for Him in a manner that suits His Majesty. This is a very important disclaimer. In a manner that suits His Majesty. So whatever names that you see might share with the creation. Maybe, for example, your friend is called Malik. And there's a friend, your friend called Malik, we call him Malik. It doesn't, it's not the same as Allah's name, Al-Malik. It never have the same. So we have some principles of Allah's names and attributes that was underlined by the scholars. Inshallah, if we have time, we can go through, inshallah. But let's go through to the book first. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the most beautiful names and perfect attributes. Beautiful names, Asma'ul Husna, and perfect attributes. All of His names and attributes are unique only for Allah. As the Quran states, Laisa kamithlihi shay' wa huwa as-sami'ul basir. Nothing is like Him, and He is all hearing and all seeing. From Surah Ash-Shura, chapter 42, verse number 11. Therefore, none of whatever He has created has similar names or attributes in any way. Okay? So that is a very foundational concept that we have to know. Let us go through some of Allah's names and attributes. Some of Allah's beautiful names. For example, the number one, the beneficent, the merciful. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. From Surah Al-Fatiha. I believe everybody have heard this surah, or maybe some of you have memorized. Alhamdulillah. So Ar-Rahman is the beneficent. Ar-Rahim is the merciful. Okay? So some might ask, but isn't humans also have the characteristic of being merciful, right? Some of humans have. For example, our friends, he is merciful. He forgives. For example, if you do some mistake to him, you stole his money, and you say, "Oh, please forgive me, have mercy on me." And you say, "Okay, I forgive you." So does that resembles Allah's mercy? Does that shows the mercy of Allah? For example, no, not to say that. Is that the same quality that Allah has? No. As we take from the statement before, His names and attributes are unique. Allah's names and attributes are unique only for Himself. If you give one, for example, Al-Rahman, Ar-Rahim to Allah, it means it is complete. Al-Kamal. It is complete and perfect. Not like us, we are merciful at times. And maybe our mercy is not comprehensive. Maybe it's not perfect. Okay? He is all hearing, all seeing. All hearing and seeing. Wahuwa Sami'ul Basir. Surah Ashura, just now we mentioned. And also the next ayah, He is the mighty, the wise. Azizul Hakim. Wahuwa Al-Azizul Hakim. Al-Aziz, the mighty. Allah is have might. And Al-Hakim means He is all wise. And this is from Surah Luqman. Next ayah we can see Allah, there is no God but Him, the living, the self-sustaining. This is from which ayah? Anyone knows? MashaAllah, Ahsant. The Sheikh helped me showing the surah Al-Baqarah from Ayatul Kursi. Allahu la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum. So this is the name Al-Hayy Al-Qayyum, the ever-living, the self-sustaining. The next one is also from Surah Al-Fatiha. All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds. Who knows this? Sheikh Abdullah, don't answer. Sister, do you know from which surah is this? All praise due to Allah, Lord of the worlds. Have you heard this before? Do you know from where do we take this? Yeah. Anyone wants to help the sister? Which the Arabic recitation? Yeah. No, the one before. The one before. No, the first. What is the first? What is the first ayat of the Surah Al-Fatiha? Okay, the second one. Remember? MashaAllah, ahsanti, barakallahu fiki. May Allah give you guidance. May Allah guide you to the straight path. Amin. So yes, it's correct. It is Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. All praise due to Allah, Lord of the worlds. Okay, Alhamdulillah means all praise due to Allah. Rabbul Alamin, the Lord of the worlds. Rabb means Lord. Alamin means world. Okay, the next page. What are the benefits of believing in Allah's names and attributes? First, getting to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala better. For belief in Allah's names and attributes increases one's knowledge of Allah, which in turn increases one's faith in Him. Those who know and understand Allah's names and attributes are bound to have their hearts filled with awe of Him and love for Him and tend to submit to Him alone. So the more you know Allah, the more you say, oh, Allah is so great. For example, there's one name of Allah is Al-Afu. Al-Afu, okay, which means the forgiving lah, the most forgiving. But if you see in details, if you learn about what does it mean by Al-Afu means, there's also the other names Al-Ghafur, the one who forgives as well. But what are the difference? So when you study about the names and attributes of Allah in detail, so Al-Ghafur means He forgives. Allah is most forgiving, so He forgives you, but your record is still there. Your record of your bad deeds is still there. Okay? But when you go in detail, Al-Afu, remember when during Ramadan, we always make this dua at the last 10 nights of the days of Ramadan. Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. We ask Allah, oh Allah, you are al-afu. You love to forgive, so forgive me. So when we go into detail, what does it mean by al-afu? Al-afu, He forgives. But in addition, He wipes away the records. like you didn't do it at all, like it never existed before. So this makes you feel like, oh, I want to use this name to worship Allah. I want to call upon Allah, Al-Afu. So whenever we slipped into sin, or we do something that is forbidden, so we go back to Allah. That we know that Allah is able to forgive us, and Allah is able to wipe away our sins. Kama dhambalahu. As though as we haven't seen before. Right? Okay. Number 2, praising Allah by using His most beautiful names, which is the best form of remembrance of Allah. Yani zikir kan. Orang Melayu panggil zikir. As the Quran states, O you who believe, remember Allah much. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu dhkurullaha dhikran kathira. From Surah Al-Ahzab. So, when you want to call upon Allah, you use His names. For example, today you learn about, for example, Ar-Razzaq. You want to have more sustenance, so you use this name. Ya Razzaq, Arzuqni. Man, oh, the one who provides, provide for me. Ya Ghani. Kan, Ya Ghafur, Ya Rahim. You use Allah's beautiful names to make your dua more meaningful, more passionate, so that the dua inshallah will be granted. So dua, it depends on your wants, on your ikhlas, or what you ask from Allah with sincerity. So if you like, oh Allah, I want this, you what to say, lazy. Lazy. What do you say lazy? In not lazy, you're not focused. That's the word. You're not focused in your dua. It might not, Allah might not give you. So if you really focus, you really want this, you really show Allah that you really, really want this, and then you use His beautiful names and attributes, and inshallah Allah will grant it for you. Number 3, asking and invoking Allah by His names and attributes, as the Quran states, this is the one that I explained before. To Allah belong the most beautiful names. So call on Him by them. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَدَعُوهُ بِهَا. From Surah Al-A'raf. An example to say, Ya Tawwab tub alayya. And then Ya Rahim irhamni. O most forgiving, forgive me. O most merciful, have mercy on me. So this is the thing that is described in this book, inshallah. So alhamdulillah, I've done my part, but inshallah we can explain more. If you want to know more, there's this really good book. I think it's already translated in English. This is a very concise book that tells us about the principles of the names and attributes of Allah, by Sheikh Muhammad ibn Uthaymin. It's called Qawaidul Muthla. Samit kitab. In translation is the exemplary qawaid. The exemplary qaedah. Qaedah is the word. Method, the exemplary methodology, something like that. Okay, exemplary method. Yeah. So that book is very good. Exemplary principles. Qawaid. So you can find that. It's already translated. I'm not sure whether you can get it in what is that book? Bookstore called? Dakwah Corner. Okay, but let us go through some of the things that, because some of the things that we have to know to differentiate between our names and Allah's names. There are some qa'idah, there are some principles that we have to know. First, all the names of Allah is good. Husna, Al-Husna. And then all the names not only carry the name, it also carries His attributes. Allah's name also shows His attribute as well. For example, Allah is Ar-Rahim. He is Ar-Rahim. The name is Ar-Rahim. Also, He is Rahim. But for example, contrary to us, My name is Dzaki. Dzaki, Dhal, with Dhal. Or you can pronounce it Zai as well, no problem. Dhal. My name is Dzaki, but I might not be Dzaki. I might not be intelligent. Maybe the name only. So Allah's name is the name Ar-Rahman, but carries also He is Ar-Rahim. He is also Rahman, have mercy. That is the first qaida. Next, and then the let us skip. We don't want to go through all. Next, maybe whoever there's one hadith. Whoever counts it, counts the name of Allah. For that, how many names that Allah has? How many names that Allah has? How many names are there for Allah? Allah has named Himself. How many? 99, right? No, the answer, if you say 99, is wrong. It's wrong, right? More than 99. It's more than 99. But the hadith say, Lillahi tis'atan wa tis'una isman. Okay? Man ahsaha dakhala jannahu. For Allah, He has 99 names. So whoever counts it, will enter Jannah. So, is it only limited to 99? No. Because this is to show that this is the 99 if you count it, if you know, for you to know. 99, the limit. But for Allah, there are a lot of other names. That maybe some of the names that Allah doesn't mention to us. If you remember the dua, Nas'aluka bikulli ismin huwa lak. We ask of you, Allah, from every names that is belong to you. Sammaita bihi nafsak. That you have named it yourself on your own, on yourself. So this thing that we don't know. Some of the names that Allah have named Himself, but we don't know. Wa anzalta bihi fi kitabik. And then that the names that you have sent down in your kitab or in the sunnah. So these are the names that we know from the Quran and the sunnah. Allamta ahadan min khalqi. That the names that you taught one of your slaves, any of your slaves. واستأثر بنفسك في علم الغيب عندك, that you keep secret in your knowledge of the unseen. So there are some names that Allah didn't mention to us. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khairah. Okay. So if you read the hadith, we just count Allahu Sami'ul Basir. So you remember when we are young, there's one song, right? Yas'aluka ya man huwa Allahu alladhi. If you sing that song, you will enter Jannah. No. And that is what does it mean by ahsaha? Ahsa means count, but it really means that you memorize the names and then you know exactly what is the reality of that name, that you really know the meaning, and then you feel the meaning, that you act upon the meaning. That, for example, Allah is all-seeing. You know that Allah is all-seeing. Whatever that you do, so you don't do all the you don't do sins in front of people, also in secret, because you know Allah is always seeing. And then the third one is you make dua with it, with those names. Okay, and the last one is to amal, to using the names that what I said before. So that is the what does it mean by ahsaha, that you count and then you memorize and you really apply it in your life, mashallah. And then there are some names that only for Allah. And this is one of the basic foundation principle, that some names are only for Allah. For example, which name is only for Allah? Allah. Allah's name is only for Allah. You cannot name your children Allah. This is my child. Allah. No, cannot. No. And next one is Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahman, you cannot name yourself as Ar-Rahman. Okay, it is forbidden. You cannot say yourself Ar-Rahman. Also Rahman as well. Without the Al, also it is not allowed. For other names, for example, Aziz, Al-Aziz, Ar-Rahim, etc. If you take away the Al, it is okay. You can use it for your child's name. But if you put Al-Hakam, or maybe Al-Hakim, those Al is specifically for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what else? Okay, so this is one more principle, that we don't create the names of Allah. We don't like, oh, this somebody inspired to me this name, and I will want to call Allah by this name. No, no, because all these names and attributes is what we call tawqifiyah. Tawqifiyah. What does it mean by tawqifiyah? You know how to translate? Yes, it is like sealed. This is like this. You take it as it is. That is the good answer. Take as it is. So there are 4 things that you cannot do to the names of Allah. First, you cannot biduni takif, kaifa. How is Allah? For example, His actions. Allah said in the Quran. Allah, the Prophet said that Allah said. The Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, nazala Rabbuna tabaraka wa ta'ala ila sama'i dunya fi baqiya thuluthil layl. Yeah. So the nuzul of Allah. Allah comes down to the nearest earth, to the nearest heaven. So that Allah say, who wants to make dua, I will give him. Who wants to see anything, it's at the last third of the night. So we don't say, how does Allah come down? So we don't want to go to that detail. Because Allah said Allah comes down, whatever that is befitting His Majesty. Mayaliku bijalalihi. So whatever He say, we believe, but we don't know how. Because these are from the al-ilm al-ghaib. Whatever that is mentioned to us, we believe in it. Okay? So that is one. We don't say how Allah does this, how Allah do that. Okay? And then the next one, biduni tahrif. You don't change the names. You don't change a single letter from Allah's name. Okay, for example, Allah. You don't call it Allata. You don't Al-Aziz. You don't change it to Al-Uzza, for example. You don't change the names of Allah. Tahrif. Tahrif can be a few ways. Some of it you change the physical, the names, and some of it you change the meaning. You say, oh, Allah laughs. Allah laughs. Allah dhahik. It means love. Oh, it's not love. It means like mercy. So you change the meaning. But whatever Allah say, Allah loves love. How to say it? Laugh, right? Laugh, right? Ketawa, kan? Ketawa in English is laugh, kan? Laugh, right? Yeah. So Allah loves. That is what's mentioned in the hadith. So we believe in it. Allah loves to the last person who enters Jannah, right? You can read the hadith, inshallah. No time for me to discuss here. So there are some sifat, some attributes of Allah that is mentioned. That is maybe for some people, this is like same as human. Allah said Allah has hands. Allah has hands. Okay. Allah created Adam with his 2 hands. Biyadai. Biyadai. Allah said, khalaqtuka biyadai. So someone imagine, oh, is it like our hands? No. So this is the most important thing. So you don't do it, you don't say how, and then you don't change it. Say, oh, this is not hand, maybe it is power. You don't say like that. Okay, so that is the second principle. So without questioning, without changing, and then without tamthil, tashbih, tamthil, without you making it the same as human. Oh, Allah's hand is like my hand. No, we don't say that. Because Allah's attributes are perfect, and the makhluk, like us, the creations, It's not perfect. And then the last one is biduni takif, takif, tahrif, tamthil, ta'til. There's one more, ta'til. That is you deny. Because you say, oh, it's not befitting for Allah to have this kind of attributes, for example. For example, Allah say, wa makaru wa makarallah wallahu khairul makirin. Allah, they plan and Allah plans. You know, this kind of plan is not like a normal plan. It's like khida, what is it called? You do something that you plan to take over something. It's not a good characteristic to have this makar. That you have conspiracy, something like that. Can conspire. But Allah say, wallahu khairul makirin. And Allah is the best of the conspiracy. This doesn't mean that Allah is the one who conspires. No. It means that Allah is fighting. Whatever they do, Allah will give the what do you call that? The counter. Yes, counter. Allah counters whatever they do. For example, the mushrikun, they plan they plan for Islam to be wiped out from this world, but Allah has another plan, something like that. Okay, so not that Allah is planning something bad, but Allah wants to wipe out their plans. Okay, understand? Okay, so that is so we don't say, oh, Allah doesn't do this. That's different meaning. Ta'til, you deny. You cannot deny whatever Allah has affirmed for Himself. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, so I think that's enough. A lot of things you can discuss. Okay, a lot of things you can discuss. For example, it's very, very easy. You can just recite Surah Al-Ikhlas. So Al-Ikhlas mentions about Allah. Qul huwallahu ahad. Say Allah is not one. Allah is unique. Wahid is one. Ahad means it's unique. Allahu Samad. Allah is the place where everybody depends on. As-Samad. Lam yalid. He doesn't give birth. Walam yulad. And he doesn't have parents. Walam yakullahu kufuwan ahad. So this is the very basic principle. Walam yakullahu kufuwan ahad. That Allah there's no similarity to Allah. So Allah is the only one that is the Khaliq. Other than Allah is the creation. Wallahu alam. So I hope I don't confuse you. Alhamdulillah. Very clear, right? Okay, Alhamdulillah. Because why? Because some people they will question, oh, how can Allah have the sifat of mercy? Because this sifat, mercy, you have mercy, it will come and go, right? For example, you are merciful, you mercy, and then when the mercy is gone, you're not merciful. So this is not befitting by Allah, so they change it. They don't want to say. But Allah, if you read the Quran, the first ayat is Bismillahi Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, right? So merciful, beneficent, etc., etc. So you cannot deny with your limited akal, limited, what is akal? You limited thinking, limited mind. So is it not intellect? Yeah, you cannot use your intellect to understand Allah's name. You have to use the dalil from the Quran and the Sunnah. Whatever Allah say, Allah doesn't have son, Allah doesn't have parents, you don't say. Like some of the groups of people say Allah has a son, etc., etc. Allah takes a son. So we say no, because Allah said lam yalid wa lam yulad, and lam yalid, he doesn't have a son, wa lam yulad, and he doesn't have parents. Okay, and some also say there are malaika is the son of Allah. The angels are the daughters of Allah, not son, daughters of Allah. Banat, banat is the daughters of Allah. So these are all not true. So whatever Allah say He has, He has. Whatever Allah say He doesn't have, He doesn't have. It is a very, very simple concept in Islam about al-asma wa sifat. Wallahu alam. Any questions, any comments, any additions? فَلْتَفَضَّلْ مَشْكُورًا. If I cannot answer, I will bring the question to the Sheikh. No, very clear, right? Alhamdulillah. Okay. Oh yeah, تفضل أخي.
Alright. Assalamualaikum Ustaz.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
So first of all, I would like to recommend the books written by Jinan Yosef.
Who?
Jinan Yosef.
Jinan Joseph.
Yeah, reflecting on the names of Allah. So that book was written like based on the Ibn Qayyim book. Right? So it's very clear and it's very good for Muslims. And then my question is like we see a lot about Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, right? Can Ustaz like explains like the differences between Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim? So that's my question. Thank you.
Oh. Wallahu alam. Very good book. What was called book? The book? Reflecting to the names of Allah. Wallahu alam. Maybe you can get it in the Corner bookstore. It's a very good book as well. I haven't read it before. Recommended by the brother. Your brother Nabil, right? Nabil. Nakib. Sorry, Nakib. Nakib. Okay. So the question is, what is the difference between Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim? Whatever that I read, Ar-Rahman is merciful. Ar-Rahim also is merciful. But what are the difference? It is very, very detailed difference. Ar-Rahman means the mercy encompasses all. Allah is merciful to every creation. For example, if you are not a Muslim, you also have given rizq, food, etc., etc. Allah provides for every single creation that He creates. That is Ar-Rahman in general. So Allah is merciful to every of His creation, to the animals, to the non-believer, etc., etc. But Ar-Rahim means a very specific rahmah, a very specific mercy, only to the believers, only to the believers. For example, we are believers, so Allah have mercy to us, so that we enter Jannah. So nobody can enter Jannah with their actions, with their deeds. So hatta the Prophet ﷺ enters Jannah with Allah's mercy. So wallahu alam, that is the only thing that I've read, that I've studied before. I hope that answers your question. But you can go into the linguistic meanings in depth. Wallahu alam. Yeah. Any other questions? Oh, ada orang panggil. Okay, so I guess there's no more questions. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, tafaddal. Can you give him the mic?
السلام عليكم. في حديث النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said Allah has 100 mercy and gave us the jinn and the human one of this mercy, to make mercy with each other, and make 99 mercy for the judgment.
MashaAllah, ahsan, tabarakallah, jazakallah khairan. So the brother is sharing this one hadith that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, that Allah has for him 100 parts of mercy, 100 parts. And then Allah used one part of the mercy for this life, life of dunya. So if you see all the things that is merciful in this world now, you see the mother loves the daughter, the son. You can see the mercy between the animals. All these are the one part of mercy. But the rest, 99 mercy, where is it? Allah kept it for the day of judgment. For the day of judgment, Allah will use all 99 mercy. So you can imagine all the mercy in this world, only one part. Oh, so merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So all the 99 will be used in the hereafter. Wallahu alam. So may Allah give us mercy. May Allah make us people who can accept whatever that He commands. We are patient from whatever that we have bear patience, become a Muslim, to adhere to the teaching of Islam. And may Allah guide those who wants to understand about Islam, and then so they can get the the actual knowledge of Islam, not those which are fabricated from the media, etc., etc. So may Allah SWT have mercy on us and facilitate all of our affairs and make us have an easy hisab, easy accountability in the day of judgment. Jazakumullah khairan. We end with tasbih kafara and the salutation of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. You can repeat after me. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.